Hello families, this is part 2 of our adding or in subtracting like terms. So in this section we'll be doing the subtracting side. Remember, this ties back to our say 10 way and our number bonds. So it works very similar to the way we did in addition, but it has a few differences because it is subtraction. But it's mostly exactly the same, you're just subtracting instead of adding the numbers together. So this, you look at this is just 4 by itself, so we don't worry about it. So we go here, so we have 6 tens 5 is how they want them to view that number. Then they want them to use the number bond. Remember, it's where you have the whole and the two parts. So we're going to break it into 2 parts now. My parts go together to make my whole. My parts go together to make my whole. There, you can see this time. So we have 6 tens, which we know has a value of 60. And if your student needs to count out how much that is, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, that's okay. We know it's 6 tens, and we know that the other number is 5. So just like before, instead of adding our like terms, this one we're going to be subtracting them. So we know that this one's all by itself because it's a 1. This is the same way. So we're going to do 5 minus 4. So 5 minus 4 equals 1. So now we have 6 tens 1 because there's nothing else to subtract. So 6 tens 1 is 61. So the next one, it's kind of where it has the tens right here. You kind of go through the same process. It wants them to view this number as 8 tens 7, and then it wants them to break it into parts with a number bond. So we have 8 tens, which has a value of 80, and then we have our 7 ones. Now, because this one is a 10, we're going to use our tens this time instead of our ones. It's trying to add and subtract those ones that are the same. So we have 8 tens minus 5 tens. So 8 tens minus 5 tens can be thought of 8 minus 5. So 8 minus 5 is 3. So you have 3 tens left over because those are all tens. So we have 3 tens left over. So we have 3 tens, because we did our subtraction, 3 tens 7. So we know our answer is going to be 37, because that ones place stayed the same. It never changed no matter what we did. This one, much like this one down here, we don't necessarily need to create that number bond because it's already kind of like broken into like terms already. So we have 50 minus 30. So they kind of want them to think about it a little easier, make it an easier math fact by doing 5 tens minus 3 tens. So think of it like 5 minus 3. So 5 minus 3 gives us 2, but it's not just 2, it's 2 tens. So when we write our answer, we're going to make sure that we write it as our 2 tens, as our 20, because that's its value. So that's the way Eureka has kind of started going through it, tying in that say 10 way as well as that number bond. I'm going to show you another thing that you can do to help your student understand this. So look for part 3 where I go over the last part of this. All right, I'll see you there.